Reuters News Tracer is a capability that we've developed with the R&D team that finds events that are breaking on Twitter. It assigns them a newsworthiness score so you can focus on the things that are important. And the real magic of it is that it then gives a confidence score about how likely it is that those events are true. And this is really critical because the landscape of news has changed dramatically.
Over the last almost 1 decade, we have seen an increasing amount of news events unraveling first on social media. In some ways, we can say that social media has actually disrupted the news industries, and journalists do need to tap into that information and signal that's available in social media. So the mission really was to tap into the social media content to figure out what really are the news events and present them in a timely manner as soon as possible, effectively getting rid of all the spam, the noise, and only harnessing the signal or the news events that are important for our journalists and eventually our customers.
And so when we sat down with the R&D people, it was really kind of a, how much can we do? How can we narrow the scope of this so we can be successful? And to their credit, they basically said, let's make this big. Let's try to solve, much more universally than solve for individual small users.
We interviewed numerous journalists all across the globe from various specializations and really listened to how they gather information, use social media, assess whether something is newsworthy or not, and how do they go about verifying various types of different stories. And once we understood that, we created the algorithms and tools that could mimic just that.
One thing we've found is that it's been very good at finding certain types of events much more quickly than many mainstream news organizations are able to do. It was ahead on the Brussels airport bombing by several minutes. It was ahead on the Chelsea bomb by, again, several minutes. So it's done very well, and we can see that as a tip service for news organizations, and for us particularly, obviously, it's been very helpful. It lets us start getting on a story much more quickly.
It was really a very, very cohesive partnership in which technology brought in the technical expertise, the scientific rigor that could actually build those algorithms, and the human expertise that we were wanting to mimic, that was brought in from the Reuters journalists.
What's great about this partnership is that to be able to take a fire hose of information that comes in at 140 characters and not much more than that, and then to be able to sort of say, when this is newsworthy, you should look at it, and then to say, this may well be true, that I think is a really interesting place to be.